Hi everyone, I'm MaryAnn. I'm a visual artist and voice coach from Singapore, currently in Singapore, and welcome to day 70 of my 100-day vlog series. So if you're someone who has a dream and you've always wanted to pursue it, or you have a passion and you really want to do something about it, but you're not quite sure where to start, or you don't know whether it's really the right thing for you to do even though you've tried it out and tested some things out, well, this is where I'm sharing some of my learnings and realizations in my journey of pursuing my passion, of following my dreams, of creating a worthy and meaningful purpose in my life. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. And if you're shy about that, you can just directly message me through any one of my social media links, which are in the write-ups attached to these videos. So a lot of these vlogs is where I'm sharing my learnings and realizations from my own journey of pursuing my dreams and going after what really matters to me. And I'm hoping that some of these things would help you figure out your own path and whatever you're going through in your journey as well, such that all of us here can learn from each other and live the best life that only you can live. So the last couple of days I've been talking about how when we have a dream and we want to go after it, it's not necessary that you have to turn it into a career or that it has to be something that you make a living with. Your dream is something much bigger than your job or your career, and it might overlap with your job and career, but it's not necessary that it has to be the same thing. And ultimately it is really up to each individual to craft out what that is for yourself and to discover what that form is for yourself of how to live that best life that only you can live. We have like big dreams, which are really exciting for us, which combines many different things that we're passionate about. And there's a very clear form that combines that, like my 100 Dream Tree mural project. That is my big dream that combines my love for art, for travel, for getting people together to talk about their dreams and do something that connects them to it. And then there are also your hobby dreams, which are what your smaller dreams are, and a lot of times it could just be you just see it as something that you do for fun, that it's a hobby to pass time when you're free, but it's also something that you're passionate about. You're just not sure whether you want to turn it into something much bigger than something you do for fun, because it's also possible that your hobby dream could be your big dream. It's just that you can't see it yet at the moment. But the key thing here, the important thing that I want to stress, is you have to take action. You have to do something about it, because I think all our dreams, ultimately it's about that journey of us discovering more of who we are and ultimately becoming a more truer version of ourselves, and discovering more about what that really is for us and how do we create this life that really is true to you and is really something that matters to you, such that at the end of it, when you look back, you're not going to have any regrets that you didn't do that. So today I want to share a little bit about my hobby dream, which is about singing and being a singer-songwriter. So this used to be my big dream. For a good 10 years, from the time I was 16 and I started, exploring singing and songwriting, it became my big dream to be a contemporary Christian pop singer-songwriter, because my dream at that time was to bring people to God through music. Okay, and of course I have evolved a lot from that now, because I'm no longer religious, and being a singer-songwriter is no longer my big dream. I took action on that dream the moment I had the opportunity, and I went to Nashville, Tennessee to study music business and songwriting so that I could someday fulfill this dream of mine. And when I was there, I learned more about the music industry, and I discovered that it's not exactly an industry that I really wanted to be in. Like, it didn't feel right for me. At the same time also, I was in a college where practically everybody wanted to be a singer or a singer-songwriter or a songwriter or work in music business, and many of them could sing really, really well, and I just felt that as a singer I just wasn't good enough. At the same time, I also found out that for a full-time commercial songwriter, it's basically like an entire day job where you're spending 8 hours, a day, 5 days a week, in a room by yourself or with other songwriters, trying to churn out a hit song so that you can make a living, because songwriters earn their living through earning royalties of the use of the song that they have created. Something about that just doesn't feel right for me either. Like, I want to be a singer-songwriter because I want to write my own songs and I want to be able to perform them, and to be a songwriter where I write songs for other people and for other users, like advertisements or like movie soundtracks or something, just doesn't sit right to me. It's like something about it felt like something was missing, and I didn't quite know what that was, but that prompted me to go and search further outside of this area of interest and see what else was out there for me. So that that led to me taking creative writing classes. I took a poetry class as well in this college, and finally in my last semester I took that introduction to drawing class, and in the middle of that assignment I had a flashback to a memory of when I was 8 years old and I was drawing at the dining table, and I was asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? And at that time the answer was very simple for me. It was like, I just want to draw. And then I was discouraged from being an artist, and I completely forgot about my artist dream. So in that moment of reconnecting to that dream and still being religious at that time, I thought that what if this was God's plan for me all along, that I'm supposed to be an artist. And at that moment, I also felt that I no longer needed to be in Nashville, because my dream of being a singer-songwriter in contemporary Christian music no longer made sense. So that allowed me to leave Nashville and move to New York City, which is where I had always wanted to live when I went to the US, and pursue this, career in being an artist. But of course at that time I didn't know anything and I was struggling very hard, and and then I came back to Singapore and I did a coaching program that allowed me to take steps to do my first solo exhibition. And that was where I fulfilled my childhood dream of being an artist, and I knew then that this being an artist is a big dream of mine. So fast forward a few years in my artist journey, where I kind of paused this whole singer-songwriter thing and I just focused on being a visual artist, until about 4 years ago my mentor created a singing weekend program, and it was about us not just improving our voice but also working on our expression and ultimately discovering more about who we are through music, and developing ourselves through the singing and through self-expression. And when I took that course, I realized that my love for singing has always been there. Even though I didn't want to be a singer-songwriter anymore, not in a big way, it's still something that I'm passionate about. It's still something that I enjoy. It's still something that I love. But it's not something that I want to devote my life to. Like, if you ask me if I want to be a professional singer, it's like, it's good. It's a nice dream to think about, but I don't think I'm cut out for it. I don't think I'm cut out for 8 hours a day practicing, all these vocal stuff and refining my vocal technique. I'm not, I don't see singing as that for me. For me, singing is something that is purely just self-expression. It's purely about creating a performance that can connect with other people because it's authentic. But to be paid to sing at weddings and all that, I don't know if that's really something that I want to do. But then again, if I haven't explored it, I wouldn't know, right? But right now, singing for me is more like a hobby dream. And even being a singer-songwriter is more like a hobby thing as well. If I have a moment where I'm on my guitar and I'm singing a few songs and suddenly inspiration strikes and I start writing my own lyrics and my own melody or something, then great, but it's not something I want to devote a lot of time and energy to really sit there and get myself into that mode of writing a song. So having shared that now, that's how the trajectory of that part of me has gone, from a big dream of mine to becoming, something that I kind of paused for many years, and then now it's a hobby dream. And it's because I took action on that big singer-songwriter dream and went to Nashville to study that, I ended up coming back to art again. And then, when I go on my journey of being an artist, at the same time, I'm not just an artist, I'm also working on my personal development. And that's why I took that singing weekend workshop, which allowed me to realize that I still love singing. And because I started on this singing journey again, even though it's just a hobby dream for me, it has also helped a lot in my art, in my expression, and in connecting to something that's more true and authentic to myself, which has led to me now realizing that my dream actually isn't to be an artist, but rather to be someone who is pursuing my dreams and making them come true. And I want other people to be able to do the same, and I want to figure out ways that I can support other people to do the same with their dreams. So the reason why I shared my journey and my story today with regards to this whole singer-songwriter hobby dream of mine is because I want to show you an example of how taking action on that dream allowed me to further develop myself, allowed me to further develop my other dreams and discover more about myself along the way. So ultimately, I think, it's not just about sticking to one area of life and living your life in just one way, but I think the hobby dreams that we have, even though they may seem like, it's not something you really want to build your life around, it's still different data points that you get for yourself. It still gives you a different view of your life. It still gives you different variety in your life. And ultimately, I think it's all just about developing ourselves and discovering our true selves and ultimately creating the best life that only you can live. So take action on those hobby dreams of yours, do something about them, and see what you can learn about yourself in the process, and learn about life in the process too. So if you like today's video, subscribe to my YouTube channel or like my Facebook page wherever you're seeing this on. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments, or you can directly message me through any one of my social media links which are in the write-ups attached to these videos. And I will see you tomorrow.